Hey yo guys, just back here for another video just to give you my rundown on some thoughts tonight. As you know, there's a lot of stuff happening, this weekend and around the world in combat sports, and basically, I just felt I had to, get some of the stuff off my chest. It's on my mind, so let me get it out to you. You're probably gonna see a lot of me, as November is a extremely busy month in combat sports. I mean, tonight we got the Darchinyan fight tonight on Showtime and Super Channel here in Canada. Then you have, then you have, I believe, next weekend, you have, I know you for sure have, not UFC, you have the Jones Calzaghe, you have TNA's pay-per-views, then you have, between that point, you have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and, UFC 91, you have WEC on Wednesday, this Wednesday. I mean, you just have a lot of stuff, and you're going to probably have to see a lot of me. But anyways, under this, Victor Darchinyan against Cristian Mirjares fight, really expect this one to be, a strong fight, potential fight of the year in, boxing. I mean, this year's actually had a real strong contenders for that, especially your Cotto Margarito fight. You could even maybe, in some sense, throw the Hopkins-Pavlik fight in there as fight of the year, but I wouldn't myself. Just really a lot of strong fights this year. But this fight is going to be a real good one. It's that brawler versus the classic boxer, in the Darchinyan being the brawler and the classic brawler being Mijares. Really, it's going to be a good fight. The way I see this one going is probably either if Darchinyan can use his power and, get a knockout, then it's going to end pretty early. I think if Darchinyan uses his power and, uses his power and, as how he did in his last fight, basically he's gonna win and be the unified bantamweight champion. I think if Mirjares can use that technical prowess, pick his spots and outbox, and then come on in the later rounds, then we'll probably get Darchinyan get knocked out. Or I don't think Mirjares wants to take this one to a scorecard or doesn't want a decision. No one wants a decision. Wants to leave a fight up to someone else. So I think Mirjares will probably end it in the 9th round with a TKO. 9th, 10th round. Expect that one to be a good fight. Really exciting. Anytime you get the bantamweights in there in any combat sport, it's good stuff. Then we move over to the worlds of independent wrestling, as Pro Wrestling Guerrilla has their big tournament of the year, the Battle of Los 2008. It's finally here, as it got a lot of pushback due to a lot of the guys they tried to book. Like, I know they were trying to book Pac and some of the Dragon Gate talent that they were trying to book, but really Dragon Gate was we want to finish our bookings with them, then you can lend them. PWG was like, fine. Then TNA decided to roll in and have a house show in Anaheim that same week that they moved. PWG decided to move the tournament from 24-man back to, the original tournament's roots of 16, how it started back in 2005. So, this tournament now, it's an interesting one. I mean, we got the likes of, Chuck Taylor making his first PWG tournament. You got Danielson, you got Loki, you got Masato Yoshino, El Jericho. You got a lot of talent. You have Aries in here, Nigel McGuinness. Expect it to be, a good tournament, but hopefully, whoever wins the tournament actually pays off well, because every PWG guy who's won the tournament, or anyone who's won the PWG's Battle of Los Angeles, it's just been like for waste, and a real strong tournament, especially, last year's final night was really good. The two had some strong matches in 2006, and night 3 was pretty good, and the whole tournament back in 2005 was really good. I think that's been the best part of it so far. But really, this tournament they got to figure out how to book it, because when you had Chris Bosch win it back in 05, I mean, he went for the PWG title and then lost every time. Then you had Davey Richards win it in 2006, belts, and he decided not to go. They decided to book him not to go for the belts, the world belt, and go for the tag belts. He eventually won them, but lost them the next night back to B-Boy and Super Dragon, which, you know, doesn't make your tournament seem anything worthy. And then you had Shima win it last year from Dragon Gate winning the 2007 PWG Battle of Los Angeles. And what did you do with him? Well, he and Daniel had to wrestle for the spot of winning that, or something along those lines this year in a draw, and, you know, Shima never really got his chance. So whoever wins it, hopefully they book him well to, you know, either become PWG champion by defeating Chris Hero, or just something of note worth, so that it doesn't seem like this tournament has been for waste. Because I really like this tournament. I think it's, in my opinion, the second biggest independent wrestling tournament of them all, right behind the IWA Mid-South's Ted Petty Invitational. Really strong stuff. I'm expecting, you know, there to be a big tournament. Hopefully there's good enough turnout. I mean, I know you can not only check out BOLA, because it was in the afternoon today, night 1 of BOLA, and you can also check out the TNA house show in Anaheim. But we'll see. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully, you know, in the past couple, night 1 and 2 for that matter, have not been the greatest things, but hopefully PWG can, you know, have strong both nights and, you know, make this the best BOLA ever. Then we move over to the mainstream world of pro wrestling, and Evan Bourne, yes, the, you know, one of the hottest guys in the company at the moment, you know, getting his biggest push of his career, suffered a injury. I believe he dislocated his ankle and tore some ligaments, and, you know, he's been expected to miss 4 months, which really sucks, as, you know, it looked like this past week on Raw they were trying to build up Mark Henry and Kane versus Rey Mysterio and Evan Bourne, which, you know, it wouldn't have been the greatest thing, but hey, we got to see Evan Bourne and Rey Mysterio tag team. I mean, this has just been a real, like, last week was just a major week for Bourne. He gets to wrestle on a pay-per-view against Matt Hardy, and what, you know, some people would go the night. Then he has a great match on Raw with Rey Mysterio, and, you know, this unfortunate injury happened on ECW when he went for a suicide dive through the ropes on Bam Neely. I mean, it was no one's fault. Neely caught him perfectly, and, you know, Bourne just got his leg caught under the ring, and, you know, he just dislocated his ankle there. As you could tell, he was writhing in pain, and he finished the match, so, I mean, he's a trooper there, which you got to give him for sure on. But, you know, it just real sucks, because, you know, WWE being WWE could be like, well, Evan, you know, we trusted you, you've been real good with the guys, and, you know, we're not going to let you do that high-flying type style anymore, and which would suck a lot for Evan Bourne. I mean, why would you, you know, do that? I don't think they'll do that, since, you know, it was a complete accident, and, you know, it wasn't like Bourne broke Bam Neely's ankle or anything like that. As a result of that, I mean, most of the times they say you guys too reckless is, you know, when you had Juventud Guerrera basically destroy Paul London's nose back in like 2005, I believe, on that 450 splash on SmackDown. But still, don't know. This is the WWE, but I think, you know, Bourne has been his ankle's been slighted with a big boot, so I think he'll be continuing to work at least the 3-hour Raw this Monday, and that tag they have planned, and, you know, we'll see where they go from there. They can probably then write Evan Bourne off and, you know, get you to be excited when he makes his comeback. So that could be a good thing there. Then we move over here to mixed martial arts for a bit. There's just a couple bit of notes. For anyone wondering what's up with Kimbo Slice, there is a rumor that he is apparently going to fight Seth Petruzzeli again. The K1 Dynamite card. I don't know if that one's at the end of the year on New Year's Eve, but still, I see Kimbo working out in Japan. I mean, Bob Sapp's a god over there, I mean, and he's just a terrible mixed martial arts fighter, so I think Kimbo's going to work out there. He'll probably lose to Seth Petruzzeli, but just his look and his aura and his charisma, he's going to be a big star in Japan. I don't know if he'd stay in Japan because, you know, Japan mixed martial arts and combat sports, I guess, in general over there as well, and the money isn't as good as what he was making with Elite XC, but still, we'll see where we go from there. And also, Alistair Overeem and Mirko Krokop are going to have their rematch from the Dream 6 show, which, you know, it was a terrible show overall, but this fight, you know, I don't expect this to be anything other than, you know, Krokop's nuts being just destroyed by Overeem. That's what happened in the last fight there. Really Crow Cop, I mean, he's not going to be, you know, this old Crow Cop from, you know, the good old Pride days, but he's not going to, you know, be that same Crow Cop with, you know, his nuts destroyed. I don't expect Crow Cop to do that much in the fight. I expect Overeem to just, you know, hopefully run through Crow Cop, maybe first round or late first round, early second round when it happens, and you just expect Overeem to, you know, be the man over there and Dream, and I don't know what Crow Cop's got to do. I mean, he's also said he's fighting on a bad knee, so, I mean, when you say that, it's clearly gonna, and that he needs surgery right after the fight. Clearly expect Overeem to go for the knee, maybe even get a submission pretty early in the first then, so that's how I see this one going. Then I'm going to switch gears back to wrestling, but not your mainstream or North American wrestling. We're going to go Lucha Libre here and talk some things over there in the world of Mexico as AAA. You know, AAA is a promotion, you know, they're actually doing real strong business over there in Mexico as opposed to CMLL, who's doing terrible business. I mean, attendance is down, but AAA over a couple, I believe it was last week, they have one of the best angles going with Conan and Joaquin Roland really, you know, having the feud where Conan's saying that Roland's just destroyed AAA from what he and the owner at the time before he passed away, Antonio Pena, did. They were going to do a match where Roland was putting up his ownership over owning AAA and against Antonio Pena's ashes, which is just insanely crazy. And, you know, they were supposed to have at the very first event a building that held the first AAA show in Mexico back in 1992, but there was so much curiosity about this that they had to move it to a baseball stadium in Mexico, and, you know, they got like 15,000 fans to come check this out. So, I mean, this is a real strong angle. And then, you know, Conan eventually won the match, or I believe he was the one, yeah, he was in the match and he won it. So he's now the storyline owner of AAA, which, you know, Joaquin Roland has left the company. But, you know, with this storyline, there has been a lot of, you know, problems between, because a lot of the Mexican talent doesn't feel that they should bring in more North American guys to come work in Mexico, as, you know, Conan, since he's the storyline owner, he's going to have to bring in new talent and make a change. They actually have confirmed that they're going to try and bring in, for sure, El Generico, Pac, and Ruckus. So, I mean, I think those guys will fit in perfectly in Mexico. I don't see them, you know, having any problems. A lot of people feel Ruckus is way too spotty for, you know, North America. I think Ruckus is going to be a great blend. Generico, he kind of works the lucha style, you know, in PWG, ROH, you know, and independence in general, and in Dragon Gate, and Pac's the same type way. Really, I think it's just, you know, hopefully it doesn't get too out of hand, because AAA backstage has been pretty out of hand. I mean, a lot of guys just no show, when, you know, Vampiro and Psycho have some serious heat between the two. I believe Vampiro has even left the promotion, and, you know, in this new storyline, you have Cybernetico wanting to leave, but, you know, apparently the top guy, and Cybernetico even surrendered the Super Mega Heavyweight Championship, but, you know, even, like, the thing about AAA is they don't go full way on, you know, anything good. I mean, apparently the top 4 guys for the title now are Chessman, Zorro, Macias, who you remember from TNA, and Cybernetico, which, you know, doesn't make sense since he's apparently supposed to leave the company, which doesn't spring well at all there. Then we move over to, you know, more Mexican stuff with WWE. They've, as you probably do know, they have invaded Mexico and actually got on a strong network. They're on TV Azteca as opposed to Deportes and Galavision, which, you know, really, just WWE's name base alone getting them on a strong network is kind of shocking. I don't think it's going to have, you know, a major effect in the world of Lucha Libre itself. I mean, CMLL, they have their core fan base because, you know, CMLL's type of style is, you know, Mexican tradition, as opposed to, you know, AAA, where, you know, AAA and WWE are kind of the same style, because WWE is more stories, AAA is more storing, and CMLL is just, let's have a match for athletic purposes. I mean, there's some reason behind the matches, but they're more, let's have an athletic competition in there, as AAA is more the story build as WWE is. I think you get my drift here. WWE has had some, they did a tour a couple weeks ago there with their Raw brand, I believe, and, you know, they had, you know, good attendance, but attendance as opposed to their past, like, couple trips there has been dipping down. Don't know what it is, but I believe it's because the guy they're helping run business with, to help book the shows, to help promote them, is not familiar with the wrestling business. He doesn't know how to, get the name out there, so we'll just see there. Obviously, Rey Mysterio is a big guy to come see on the shows, as he's probably the most successful luchador, one of the most successful luchadors of all time. And then finally, since he won the NWA Heavyweight Championship against Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, Blue Demon decided that he's no longer going to run the NWA Mexico promotion, and they decided to hand things over to Daniel Escoves. So, Escoves is a guy who actually has a strong track record at, business. I mean, he's been CEO of, 2 companies, and one still director of management of some sort in the corporation he's still working for before he takes over there. But he's actually a Greco-Roman wrestling legend. He won a silver medal in the '84 games in Los Angeles. So let's see where he can go from here. I mean, with his business track record, he should maybe help make a splash with NWA Mexico, as they haven't made as AAA or CMLL, because I mean, I don't know, they just don't have what it takes. I don't know what NWA Mexico's missing. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do well. I guess they wouldn't do well just because no one really knows about them. They haven't been able to get their name out there. But I guess with Escoves out there, they're trying to make a splash to get better promotion, better shows. I think, NWA Mexico's maybe now made a bit of a splash with, Blue Demon now being the NWA Heavyweight Champion, which is the first time a luchador and a guy with a mask has won the belt. So we just see what goes there, and hopefully things turn out well, because I think, Mexico could be a big thriving hotbed, as, pro wrestling here in North America is becoming stale, and, you may even see a video about that from me soon, but we'll see. And then finally, I kind of want to end things off on a, a sad note-ish, and respects to Special Delivery Jones, who passed away this week. Special Delivery Jones was just, one of those enhancement talents that even though you knew he was going to lose, he gave you a real strong competitive match and, something to look forward to. SD Jones, as you could tell from the Hall of Fame ceremony back at WrestleMania 22 weekend, seemed like one of the nicest guys in the world. He worked in the territories and around Southern California and I believe San Francisco, and was actually, a fairly top guy. He never was a top guy, but, he was the strong undercard guy. I mean, he made it to, like, 3rd undercard when he started working with WWF. Some of the more memorable moments you'll have with SD Jones are, there are 2 that'll spring to mind to me, and that are when SD Jones teamed with the Giant to take on Big John Studd and Ken Patera, and that's the infamous match where Andre had his hair cut, which was, at the time just absolutely shocking that, they would just do this to a trademark hair, and it eventually set up the $15,000 body slam match at WrestleMania 1, and also SD Jones at WrestleMania 1 losing in apparently 9 seconds to King Kong Bundy, when it was really 24. But still, he just seemed like one of the nicest guys and one of the true gentlemen of pro wrestling, which, in a business where we don't have much of that, it's sad to see him go. But anyways, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.